What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to install the TAC bull bar from Amazon on a 2006 Ford F-150. Okay, so for starters, what I did was I took off the smaller portion of the front bumper just because I found that it was easier to access the tow hooks. These guys right here that came on my truck. Some of the F-150s out there do not have them on, but since mine did, in order to install the bull bar, I had to unattach those. So that will be step one. For those of you who did had to unattach the tow hooks from your truck, this is what it should look like right here. You see both bolts that were attaching the tow hook are still right there. I'm actually going to be using these bolts to secure the brackets which hold the bull bar to the frame. You'll notice in the packaging, you'll notice in the packaging that they send you these guys right here, which are actually supposed to go inside of this frame right here, and these bolts will stick down through these holes. I've opted not to go that route. I'm just going to be using the OEM bolts that held the tow hooks to hold on to the bracket to attach the bull bar to the front of my truck. So that's the route I'm going to be taking. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach the driver's side bracket first. As you can see, there's a little D that's been engraved into the bracket right there to let you know that we're going to be using that one for the driver's side. So it's going to be very easy. Just going to take this, and I've left the back bolt in there, as you can see. I'm just going to slide it over to help hold it in place. Take the factory bolt that was holding the tow hook in, and we'll use that to attach the front. I like to tighten it in with my fingers first before I take my socket and go to work with it. I find that since there's not as much room around here, you know, since I don't have like a jack or anything to lift up my truck to give myself some more room, sometimes it helps to, you know, just bite the bullet and use your fingers for as long as you can until it's time to break out the actual tools. Okay, so as far as tools that you'll need to actually secure it down, I've just got this 15mm socket and a socket wrench, and we're just going to snug it up. We're not actually going to tighten it all the way down. There we go. You want to leave a little bit of leave room. That way you can actually adjust the bracket if you need to when you're attaching the bull bar to it. So just repeat that process for both brackets on either side. Alright guys, as you can see, they made this process pretty easy for you. They've engraved the letter P over here to let you know that this piece is going to be used on the passenger side. Just that. I've got this back bolt that I left in already. Slide the bracket on just like so. Taking the factory bolt that secured the tow hooks, using that to secure it to the bracket. Finger tightening it just in the beginning, because sometimes it's easier to do that than to, you know, be using the tools. All right, we're going to tighten it down, but we're not going to snug it up all the way, because again, you want to be able to move it a little bit when you are attaching the bull bar to the vehicle. Alright, so as you can see, I can still move it around a little bit. And now we're actually ready to begin installing the bull bar to the front of the vehicle. Alright, now begins the fun part of actually attaching the bull bar to your vehicle. So what I like to do first is take the bull bar, if you have an extra set of hands around, it's much easier to do it, but I don't have that luxury, so guess who's doing it by himself. Alright, so one thing that I will note is that the edges right here are going to be going on the outside of the bracket, if that makes sense. It will be going up like that, not on the inside. It's going on the outside. Hopefully you guys picked up on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the hardware to attach a bolt on the back end of either side first. That way I'm going to be able to rotate it back up. And to do that, from the outside going in, you'll take this bolt, you'll slide it in, and you will go in this order: washer, the locking one, and the bolt. We're not gonna, crank this thing down super tight. We're just gonna put it on tight enough, that way it'll secure it so we can adjust the bull bar as we need to. So like I was saying, it goes on the outside. I need it on the outside of both sides. All right, and you're gonna take the bolt, slide that through in this order: washer, the locking one, and the bolt. And we have just put it on just tight enough to where we'll be able to rotate this bull bar without it falling off, since I don't have an extra set of hands. So we're going to do that for the other side now. Okay, so before putting in both bolts to the actual bracket that attaches to the frame of your vehicle, once you've got one in, enough to hold it from falling on top of you, go ahead and tighten down both bolts that attach the bracket to the frame of your vehicle. So as you can see, I've only got one bolt in right now, and it's literally, you can see it's not even tight right now. It's just like finger tight. It's only just enough to keep the bull bar from falling on top of you. That way you can tighten down completely. You can snug up completely the bracket to the frame of your vehicle. So snug it up, snug it up. Here is a underneath view of me installing the second bolt, which goes on the frame. Again, remember, it's bolt, washer, lock washer, nut. For now, you only need to finger tighten it down, because the next step is to do a little bit of adjusting and make it sit the way you want it to sit on your vehicle. Because after you tighten these things completely down, this bull bar hopefully shouldn't be going anywhere. Over here on the passenger side now, as you can see, I've only got one bolt in to the actual bull bar so it doesn't fall on top of me. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to completely tighten down, snug up the bolts that attach the bracket to the frame of your vehicle. So I'll show you guys how I do that. Don't be afraid to put some elbow grease into it. Okay, and now that we've done that, you can go ahead and put in the second bolt that attaches your bull bar to the bracket, which is attached to the frame of your car. So the way that it sits on your car is completely up to personal opinion. I'm gonna push it basically as far up as it'll sit without looking like it's teetering back towards my truck. I want it to sit as tall as it'll sit while still looking like it's on a level plane, on the same, you know, kind of level as my truck. So once you do that, what you're gonna need, you're going to need an adjustable wrench, because this wrench here is what you're going to use to hold on to this bolt right here, which you've used to attach the bull bar to the bracket. All that's going to do is hold on to it and keep it in one place while you're taking a socket on the other side and using it to tighten down the bolts to keep the bull bar in the position that you've decided you want it to sit. Alright guys, the next process is super straightforward. You're just going to take your adjustable wrench, use it to secure the nut on this side. You're going to take your socket, you're going to attach it to the other side, and after that, man, it's just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And make sure you're going to really snug that thing up, because again, this is going to make sure that your bull bar doesn't move. I'm going to have it sit a little higher. Alright, that one's done. Move on to the next one. I like to finger tighten mine down first. Don't be afraid to put your back into it. Now repeat it on the other side. Take your adjustable wrench, use it to hold the bolts in place, and then it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And after you've completely done that, you've got yourself a bull bar. It ain't going anywhere. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this video helps you all out.